Well, that last news of German, the Berlin attack, rather, to what we are looking at today, where German military presence in Africa has increased. Now, taken back in October, Germany said it will build a military base in Niger, which has become a major base for Western powers in the Sahel region, including France and the United States. Now, 4 days ago, the German Defence Minister Ursula von der Leyen arrived also in Mali to visit the soldiers stationed in the Northern Gao region. Forward Germany, on the other hand, gave Nigeria some 3 million euros for the purchase of military equipment. Just a few days ago, adding to the list of West African countries the European Union member has taken interest in. Now, Germany's presence in Africa, and mostly West Africa, can be attributed rather to its fight against terror, as most of the terror groups in the region have pledged allegiance to the Islamic State, including Boko Haram and also the Al-Shabaab that was divided along different lines in the East African part of the continent.
In addition to France having numerous operations in Niger, the Americans are also present with the construction of an airbase in Agadez. According to an analyst, the sudden interest in Niger is because of having a qualified strategic position, a move that is essential in the fight against terrorism in the Sahel-Saharan region, where jihadist groups pass through Niger. To better understand the issues of German presence, we talked to Niagale Bagayo, who works on the reforms of the security sector and crisis management in Africa.
Préoccupe aussi bien Berlin que les autres chancelleries occidentales. Pour comprendre les enjeux sur cette présence allemande,
what is in Germany's interest to strengthen its presence in Africa, especially in the West?
La sécurité et la gestion des crises en Afrique. Bonjour, Madame Bagayoko. Alors, quel intérêt pour l'Allemagne de renforcer sa présence en
Hello,
Afrique?
what is the presence of Germany's interest to strengthen its presence in Africa? Germany began to take an interest in Africa in 2011. Currently, Chancellor Angela Merkel has been on a tour which economic states dominated the agenda. Priorities have changed in Germany, where migration and terrorism have become the subjects of concern. These two are now at the heart of the Chancellor for African policy. In October 2016, the Chancellor completed an African tour dedicated to security and migrants before receiving the presidents of Benin and Nigeria in her country. Following the attacks in Paris on 13th November 2015, the German government embarked on strengthening its presence by getting the Bundestag to authorize a number of soldiers from 150 to 650 to participate in the UN mission in Mali, MINUSMA. The German military presence will increase again to 1,000 soldiers for MINUSMA. What can change in Germany's involvement in the fight against terrorism? I think it can make two changes. This new move by Germany on the African continent. First of all, it is to allow the African partner to diversify their intellectuals. In this respect, Niger, where the defense minister visited, is quite significant, as Niger is home to US and French bases, and will also allow Germany to have an air base in its capital, Niamey. So we see that countries such as Niger are reinforced, since they can address themselves with different Western powers. On the other hand, I believe that Germany's involvement in the fight against terror should perhaps promote approaches that are complementary between civilian and military instruments. It's an element largely put forward by the Chancellor, who insisted in October that coherence between development cooperation and military support is crucial. She emphasized that the military alone cannot bring peace.
Une grosse concentration donc, la France, les États-Unis,
France, the United States, and now Germany. Can we expect to see the extinction of jihadists? The role of Western bilateral actors is very important in the fight against terrorism. We know France plays a crucial role through Operation Barkhane, but previously also Operation Several, and also the importance of traditional defense agreements or prepositioned French forces, the defense agreements that were signed between France and Nigeria in 2016.
Et le Nigeria, le dernier, et qui ont été annoncés en 2016. Bon, les États-Unis jouent aussi un rôle majeur, bien sûr.
The United States, of course, plays a major role through Africa, only through their anti-terrorism program. I think we should not forget two other types of actors that I think are central to this fight against jihadism. First of all, other bilateral partners are the United Nations, the European Union, and of course the African Union.
Well, that was Madame Bagayoko talking to us about German military presence in Africa. If you want more of these stories, log on to africanews.com and you'll get